Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Is that fixed? Did I fix it?
How dare you!
I can't help but be racist. It's true. You can't hear me at all, can you? There you go. Is that better? Does that work better? God damn it, Jaffe. All right, fellas. Welcome to Gabbing Games. Here you go. It's good to see you. I appreciate you being here. I was not going to stream today, and that's not it, although that's a great... we'll talk about them in a minute. I was not going to stream today, and then I was going to stream tomorrow, and I still will do a Gabbing Games tomorrow, probably depending on how long we go with this, but obviously... Rockstar comes out and says, well, here's what happened. I don't know if you saw this, but so somebody at some Bitcoin company leaks the trailer, but it has a big Bitcoin logo over the entire thing. And that was about an hour ago. And I watched it. I was in the process of making a video about it, about my thoughts and whatnot. And then suddenly... Grand Theft Auto guys, Rockstars, clearly they just go, well, fuck it. And they put it out, right? And so it was out, and I think it's still out. There was a really weird thing that happened right before we went live where I went to the places I was watching it, and the link didn't work anymore. But I think that's might just be me. I think I think we would have heard if they had pulled it down. But this was supposed to go live tomorrow. Whatever. In this day and age, I mean, come on now. It got spoiled. Who cares? It was. I mean, look. I would. I saw. I think it was Colt Eastwood. I think it was Colt Eastwood talking about this is shitty for the team and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, kind of. But not really. It's not like you didn't know the title was coming. It's not like you didn't know the trailer was coming. It's not like these guys were going to go on stage and stuff. This is, wow, 12 hours early. Who gives a shit, right? So I watched it. I will play it. We'll probably be demonetized because I hope we don't get pulled, but we'll probably be demonetized because there is a licensed song over it, but that's okay. I want to bring everybody up to speed so we can talk about this. Before we do that, though, I do want to say to Craig Hooligan's been a member for 20 months.
God damn it, Maverick.
Dead Space, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. He says, Dead Space Digital Deluxe Edition is on sale for $9 if you got Game Pass. Seems like a price error. Xbox only. It's a great fucking game, Craig Hooligan. 1,000%. If you guys have not played the new Dead Space remake, that's a great edition to get. Highly recommended. The Rambling Gamer guy in the chat says, Jaffe, it is a big deal. This was going to be a big moment for everybody at the same time. This sucks. She was going to pipe in, not anymore. I don't know. I don't agree. I don't agree with you. I mean, I understand that wouldn't that have been kind of cool? Sure, but whatever. I mean, here's the bigger question. What the fuck are they doing over there? Can they not stop the goddamn leaks over there? It's like we had the footage, then we had some more footage, which I guess turned out to be the son of one of the developers, I think. I don't know where this crypto person got the trailer from. And like Craig says, this is that moment for everybody at the same time. That's right. That's absolutely right. Hey, let me know in the chat if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube. I think this is going out to both, but I'm not using StreamYard today. I'm using OBS. Okay. Fluffer says the devs are literally angry about it on Twitter. Well, if you can send me a link or tell me what to search for that, I would love to bring that up on the show and see, maybe I'm missing the point. But let's bring this trailer up. Let's watch this together as pals do. And then let's talk about it on the other side. We will kick it off from a tweet from our very own God of War member, Big Bad Eddie Torres, who shared his opinions on Twitter just a couple of minutes ago. All right, here we go. Boom. Let's make it big. See, I told you it's the wrong thing. Again, Adele, what I'm saying to you is you got to give me a day to get back in the swing of things on this computer. It's been a while. Not a problem, though. I got you covered. I got you covered with the Grand Theft Auto tweet, if I can just fucking find the goddamn thing. Come on, Jaffe, old so-and-so. Where is Twitter? It's like, we're not going to let you link unless you call it X. Fuck you. All right, here we go. Considering GTA says, Ricardo is still the best urban open world game 10 years later. Yeah, damn right. I'm hyped. Well, let's talk about it. The one in Discord is dead. Oh, oops, my bad. Sorry, fellas. Well, if you can let the Discord people know, did anybody come from Twitter? Does that link work before we play the thing? But yeah, I'm sorry about that. With the amount of leaks, says Noise Tank, I like to imagine people are walking into the studio and snatching entire PCs. It does seem strange. It does seem really weird that they're leaking the shit out of things right now, but there you go. Okay, so did anybody come here from Twitter? I'm sorry to derail, but I just like to make sure we're all in sync on this, that the link is working to this particular channel, if you don't mind helping me out. And I'm only playing on 2 screens too, because it doesn't matter. You don't care. Nobody cares. You don't care about my life. All right, fuck it. Let's go. The trailer is on YouTube. Yes, it is. Okay, YouTube cut KFG stream for playing it. Oh, okay. Okay, well then I won't play it. We'll just, we'll talk about it. You go watch it. come back. We'll talk about, I'll tell you what, I'm going to set a timer. It's a 90-second trailer, okay? Go watch it. We'll talk about another news story for the next 3 minutes, and we'll get on to this in case you haven't had a chance to see it, because apparently somebody was streaming it, and they got their show, I don't care about being demonetized, but they cut the fucking thing. So, set timer for 3 minutes. Oh, all right, so go on, check it out. And I'll be here on the other side when you get back. In the meantime, let's talk about some other stuff going on in the fabulous world of the video games. I don't know if I can play it without audio, because sometimes, unless I've gone in, people in the chat are saying play it without audio, Jaffe. Usually that only works for me when I go in, I download it or I copy it, and then I take the audio file out. If I just turn it down, you can't. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. And they'll leave it. Rotten Tanuki says, I'm wet if you are. You goddamn right, you old son of a bitch. Okay. Let's see what else. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the world of the games. Let's talk about this real quick. I'm curious what you got. I mean, I know what you think. I don't think anybody's going to defend this. But if you don't know, Sony came out and said, hey, man, if you have purchased movie content, they're going to delete it if it comes from Discovery TV shows. They're going away even if you bought them. Right now, go fuck yourself. Right now, I've always been a digital guy. I love digital. I love what it brings to the table. But people who are saying things like, usually, not that I want to fucking watch any of this Discovery crap. Cake Boss, go fuck yourself. But, hello, Captain Crunch. But still, if I stream something from Netflix or from Game Pass and it goes away, that's fine. That's the deal. That's the deal we made with these folks. It's also the deal we made in the terms of service there's a class action lawsuit coming soon. Just trust me on this. There is no fucking way. I know Apple did this once. I don't remember what happened. But if you're going to fucking sell somebody a goddamn digital product, and then for whatever reason, you're going to take it away, even though I know legally it's okay, because you're really selling them the license and you signed the terms of service that says if we do this, we can take the license rights back. I get it, lawyer fucks. But you know what? There's going to be a judge. There's going to be a fucking judge who finally says, you know what, legal fucks, you fucking lawyer, overpaid pieces of shit. You're giving the average consumer basically a tome, sometimes more than one. If you go to an Activision game and it's like, here's our terms of service and here's our digital licensing and here's our fucking code of conduct. You're giving these motherfuckers fucking library tomes to read before they sign. And you know they're not going to read it and you know they're going to sign it, and then you fuck them. And that's fine. You can get away with it. I don't think Sony did anything illegal, but fuck you, Sony. Fuck you. And I'm not going to say the lawyers' names. I like a lot of the lawyers over there. They're good people. But it's like, you know what, fellas, if you can't fucking get the rights when you sell this to someone, then just don't do it. Or at least, for the love of fucking God, put up 3 or 4. Are you sure? If you buy this, we may take it away. Would you rather rent it? Yes, no. You're going to fuck your reputation just beyond fucked at this point. It's insane. It's unacceptable. And I hope they get their asses sued. Not because they will lose, but because I think it will show them that the way they bring this about, I can't fault them for going, hey, we don't have the license anymore. We lost it. That's not their fault. But at the very least, give the people their money fucking back. Give their fucking people the money back. I don't care. Captain Crunch, not Captain Crunch, Steven Johnson says, well, they can't take away your DVD. I don't want to buy a DVD. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't want to have to own all this shit, okay? The idea of like the only reason to buy it is so someone can't take it. I don't want to live in that scarcity mindset, and it's also a bunch of shit I got to dust every couple of months, so no thank you. Game Pass is not the same shit, Salvador. Game Pass is it's like it's on until it's not. Nobody convinces you that, oh, I got Starfield on Game Pass. Unless I bought it, it's going to go away whenever they want it to go away. Fuck you, Sony. And fuck you, Apple, who did it a long time ago. And if anybody does it again, fuck them too. This should cause some change. All right, GTA, here we go. You might now have had time to watch the trailer. We kind of diverted to that topic because I can't show the trailer. People are getting their streams interrupted. So I just gave people about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes to go off and watch it. Hopefully you've watched it. Now let's talk about it. I'll kick it off with Eddie Torres's comment, if I can find it. He let's just say this. He's none too happy. Eddie's a big collector. He plays tons of fucking video games. He's as hardcore as they come. And I'll tell you what he said. And it seems to be mirroring. Now listen, I said this a couple of days back. And, you know, people, Jaffe, whatever. I said it's going to be hard for this game to, in this day and age, make the kind of waves it used to, because so much has changed and America has changed. I mean, forget the game itself, but America itself and what they were satirizing, it's just fucking different. Here's what Eddie says. GTA 6 looks okay, but every GTA of the HD era, I'm sure the emphasis on realism will hinder the gameplay. After such a long wait, I'm disappointed it looks like I imagined. A slightly better, longer version of GTA 5 should have taken the series back to its roots instead. I don't know what he means about going back to the roots, because then he posted a picture of GTA 1 or 2. I don't think you're actually asking for that, Eddie, are you? But here's what I'll say. What I thought. First off, let's be clear. That's primarily a gameplay, a cinematics trailer. I went through it a handful of times. Not once did I see anything that looked like real gameplay. There were a couple of areas, like when they had the closed circuit television stuff, where I was like, this could be like body cam stuff we've seen with Unreal 5 in the horror games and stuff where it looks real. But most of it looked like it was cinematics, which is fine. But there's obviously going to be a number of people out there who are thinking these are the real graphics and they're losing their shit and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you know, whatever. I like that there's 2 protagonists. You know, I don't know if it's like GTA 5 where you can switch between them at any time, or it's more like, hey, at this part of the story you play her, this part of the story you play him. I like that though. I like that they seem more likable. I know that sounds like it's GTA, so who gives a shit? But, you know, GTA 5, it was like everybody was just such a fucking lowlife, and I get that it's fun to play in the mud, but it's kind of cool that both these kind of Bonnie and Clyde characters, they like each other, they seem likable, at least from this trailer. They seem capable, they seem cool, so I'm interested in that. I like that it's Miami or Vice City or whatever. They had a Tom Petty song from the 80s playing. I don't think the game is set in the 80s because I went through it carefully and I'm like, it looks modern. Like, it doesn't look like it's a retro piece or anything. So it's still Vice City, and maybe they'll have some 80s references and an 80s radio channel, but I don't think it's going to be like Vice City was, where you actually are living in the 80s, basically. Let's see. It is, you know, it has the same issues, and not even an issue, but it has the same challenge that it had before, which is if you love GTA and you love the vibe and you love the tone, get in, you know, pre-order 2025. This is for you, because it looks, you know, unless the reviews come out and say they shit the bed, people like it. You know, people love GTA. I was amazed this is GTA 6, not GTA Online, although obviously I'm assuming there'll be the online component, or they'll just keep that going and this will be separate. I have no clue. But it was surprising they actually went with the title GTA 6. You it looks like what I'm going to go to the chat in just a second. And again, if you want to call in on the Discord, put yourself in there. I'll bring you live on the show. It looks, if somebody were to tell me that, I mean, it looks like GTA. And I think you get, how far off the plantation. I was going to say the reservation. And then I'm like, well, that's probably racist, even though I don't mean it to be. It's a racist term. And then I'm like, oh, what the plantation? Well, that's racist too, Jaffe. I know. How far off the location of GTA do you go before it's no longer GTA, right? Do you do GTA in space? Is it still GTA? Or, what would it needed to have done? Because when I glance at the chat and I glance at the internet, there's a sense that people are like, oh, it looks like a high-res updated version of GTA. Cool. So it's not going to make any new fans necessarily from this trailer. Not that it needs any more fans. But what else could they have done that would have still been GTA? It looks like DLC, Jaffe. Just say it, says Eric. Okay, give me a minute. Let me think about that. I mean, I don't know what the gameplay is yet, so you really can't say that yet. The only thing that I saw that was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and it's not that other games haven't done this yet. I mean, hell, Assassin's Creed started this back in 2007 or 6, whenever it came out. I like that shot, even though it was cinematic on the beach, and there was just lots of people. I don't know if it's going to make the game any better, but it was kind of cool to see the populations much more stuffed with humanity. I dug that. Okay, so listen to this. Optimism says, you're all a bunch of sad sacks if you didn't see the trailer and get hyped. We know GTA and this looks so good. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not a sad sack. I'm excited about video games. I'm not excited about GTA. Optimism, but you cannot debate. I mean, you can, but I'd be stunned if you were able to win this debate. You cannot debate people who were basically saying it looks like an up-res GTA. And, that's exciting, but it's when you have games now that look as good as Cyberpunk 2077 running with all the limits turned up, and you've got all that improvement and all that freedom, and you've got games that look amazing, and you've got games that are already open world, they really, I think if you want to be the masters of the genre, you need to bring something special, and they may very well be. But that trailer was just more like, hey, remember us? We're doing that again. And it's going to look really good. But it's not going to look as good as that because those were cutscenes. And even if they weren't cutscenes, they ain't running on a PlayStation or Xbox, even a PS5 Pro. So Prince Green says it doesn't look like DLC. Well, DLC, I'm not going to get into it for more than 5 seconds. But DLC, is not a visual thing. DLC to me means it looks like more of the same at a level of gameplay. Of course, it looks like a great looking, never before seen version of that game. There's no doubt. But at a gameplay level, so far it looks, and I don't think it will be, but it looks similar. I remember I watched some of the footage of the leaked game, leaked GTA6, and they were saying that, when you went in to rob people and stuff, it felt like your interactions with the NPCs is going to be, I don't know if it's a lot more, but it's not just going to be through cutscenes, and it's not just going to be you walk up to somebody and they have like a handful of random things that they can say. It's like when you were robbing the guy behind the cash register, which is where I think they were coming in at the end of the trailer, and they bust into the convenience store. If I remember correctly, it wasn't like adventure game dialogue with like tons of dialogue trees like Baldur's Gate. But there was more of a sense that there was a little bit more play in that interaction. And I don't remember specifically what that was. But even that alone would not make it DLC. It would go, oh, that's different. That's cool. That's interesting. But, yeah, Prince Green says we have to wait for the gameplay trailer. Of course. Absolutely, of course. I mean, this is going to be a question of, here's what I think is really interesting about this is you are going to now have 2 years probably. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Christmas release, but let's just say fall release 2025. You're going to have 2 fucking years of this shit. And sooner than later, if they don't want to just like, you know, oversaturate it, they are going to have to show some stuff that makes you go like this trailer is a gimme, right? This is like Ravnos in the chat says, opinions are all over the place on this trailer. Yeah, this trailer is an absolute gimme. There's no, you know, you can hate it and be contrarian. There's nothing to hate. You either just, you know, if you hate this, you hate GTA 5 and GTA 4 and GTA 3, and that's fine. But if you like GTA, there's no reason to hate on this. It's just, you know, okay, you had sex for the first time. Not you, but Rockstar. It just doesn't make sense. Terrible metaphor. But the point is, it's like you came, you did it, huh? Okay, now let's get good at it, right? That was sort of what my point is. It's just like the next trailer is going to have to actually show some stuff, because if this is the next trailer is just another one of these fucking things, and you're like, oh, I think they're really going to, it's not going to hurt them like they're going to bomb, but I think it's going to paint them as a less than exciting game, whereas right now I think that's what they're counting on it being, is super exciting. Fupy says the GTA Red Dead trailers have always been indicative of what the final game looked like. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I absolutely don't believe you at all. There were some shots in the trailer. If you watched like the people dancing on the pool or on the yacht, that looked real time. Like that, you could see the joints and you could see where it bended at the elbows poorly and all this stuff, and didn't look bad. But I was like, okay, that's probably real time footage, or it seems like it. But you cannot tell me, you absolutely cannot tell me that this game maybe if you have the highest end PC, not a PS5 Pro, turned up to 10, and it's literally you could fry an egg on the top of it. That's how hot it's getting. Perhaps. But I don't think that this is what you're going to get. I just don't. I mean, I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. Can you imagine getting something that looks this good on PS5? But how many times have we been here before? Ravnos has put up the first Red Dead 2 trailer. Okay. I don't remember that. Although somebody was saying GTA 5. Which one should I put up real quick? The main characters look boring to me, says Soul Mike. Well, the main characters in GTA are kind of like the main characters in King of Fighters. They're just normal people. They're just normal. Hey, I got it ready to go.
We're just normal men.
Right?
Just innocent men.
You know, and so in that, I don't think they're about character design. They're about, you know, the dialogue and the character creation and their arcs and how interesting. And I thought that was cool. Okay, I'll put up the GTA 5 trailer. Well, fuck it. I'll scrub through them both. Okay, hang on. All right, let's do this. A YouTubo. And they're 2 years away. I mean, come on. You can't tell me that shit's that level and it's, I don't know. All right, what are we doing? We're doing GTA 5, just first trailer. Let's see what it looked like. That's the official trailer. I'll just play the official trailer. Fuck it. I'm going to turn the volume down on this one, though. All right, hang on. I'll make it big. Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, it's hard to look back now and go, it's not like MotorStorm 1 that was so egregious. It's hard for me to look at this and go, oh yeah, no, this is bullshit, because games look better than this now. See that? Yeah, this isn't the one? Okay, well, which one do you want me to show, man? Give me a link or something. I'm trying to find it, but let's see. I'll go back. Second, this one, GTA, this trailer here. All right, here's the first trailer, apparently. Tell me if this one's right. But I mean, here's what I'll tell you, man. If it turns out that GTA 6 looks as good on just normal hardware, I don't mean, like PS5 Pro or whatever. If that's the case, then holy fuck. Then even though it still doesn't say much about the gameplay, at a level of like, holy shit, that looks stellar. Yeah, fuck, I would agree with you 100%. Yeah, I mean, this looks good, and this looks about like what the game looks like if you're running it normally, and maybe on a PS5 Pro or not a PS5 Pro, a PS5, because some of the textures are really crisp. Pretend you can hear Skeletons by Stevie Wonder, right? So I just want to be clear. A lot of you guys in the chat, you guys are telling me that when you look at the GTA 6 trailer today, you really think that what you saw is going to be very close to real time. I mean, that I don't believe you. Well, I don't not believe you. I can't imagine that. But if you're right, that would be fucking amazing. It'd be fucking amazing. I want to tell you this. Random Moose Brains, thank you, buddy. Been a member for 37 months, motherfuckers. He says, this trailer has me so hyped I'm pulling my foreskin to the right now. To this, oh, sorry. Let me do it again. This trailer has me so hyped I'm pulling my foreskin to this right now. Woo. I mean...
Daddy, chill.
I mean, okay. I appreciate the support, buddy, and I hope you enjoy yourself and bust a nut in the name of Grand Theft Auto, buddy. Awesome Tatum. Awesome Tatum, 6 months, died so soldier. Thank you, buddy. He says, Jaffe, if they are 2 years away, what does this mean to you in design development terms? Are they close to being done? Is it all marketing? No. Well, I don't know how big the game is. Remember when Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of 2K, was talking about this, and he's like, we want to make all of our games now. He didn't call them service games, but he's just like, we're always just going to bolt on to them. And so I don't know if they're planning on fiction or narrative content, like non-GTA Online content, coming a lot more frequently for it, maybe. So I don't know how big this is. But no, I mean, there clearly is a lot more to do. If it was just marketing and they were almost done, it's already been 12 years, right? Somebody said 12 years in development, which is crazy. They would be shipping in a year. They'd be shipping at the very latest next Christmas. So no, I think this is, I think they're going to be struggling and crunching like motherfuckers. I mean, think about that. V says you can enter 70% of the buildings. That's great. Isn't mispronouncing Strauss? I don't fucking know if it's racist. I don't know if that's how you say his name. Yeah, Jojo D says done is about a month before launch usually. Well, let's put it this way. This is going to be where the rubber meets the road with a lot of these folks who are out there criticizing crunch. This game is probably going to be one of the most important, if not the most important video game releases in the history of the medium. You cannot tell me that Rockstar is going to be like, well, it could have come out this year, but we're all going home at 5 o'clock and no one's working on weekends. And also, yes, we do crunch, but if we don't do it more than once every 2 months, and that's only for 3 days, and then that's it. No fucking way. No fucking way. Yeah, Derek, it's a good point. He says done is a year after launch these days. Think about that. I mean, what if this thing launched with the bugs and the issues of Cyberpunk? People would stick around. That's becoming the norm. We know that. Big games like this, people have proven with their money that they are accepting of the fact that, hey, it's not all going to be great when it comes out, but that's how it does. But look at the chat. Pixel Cat says, hell yeah, crunch, baby. Sleep under your desk. Give me a good game. Fupy says, I hope they crunch hard for this. Of course you do. Of course I do. You always want people. You're a customer. That's your job. That's your fucking job. It's Rockstar's problem. It's the developer's problems. Hopefully, if they can't figure it out, they'll quit and go somewhere else. But if it does, I quit the hobby for good, says Blackjack. If it does, what? Are you telling me that if you hear that this game is made via crunch, you're gonna quit playing video games? Come on now. I mean, I applaud you if that's where your, if that's where your allegiance is. But, at that point, I mean, think about the life one must live. If the only products you purchase are ones that were not made by people going above and beyond, you would be, I know I didn't play, you would be like driving terrible vehicles that are not safe and eating food that's, tastes like shit. Arath Izzle says not crunch for years, months maybe. If it's the years, management should be fired. They'll be fired, but they won't. Because if they crunch for years and it works and everybody's fucking floating in money, then, oopsie. I mean, this is a culture that goes to war just so weapons manufacturers will continue to make a lot of money so they can support elections. You think they're going to think twice about dead people? You're not going to think twice about making a lot of money just by making people work late. Come on now. Zeke says, I hope they get paid to crunch, in which case all is right and they should stop being pussies. Some of them will contract. It depends. It depends who it is. Tech, in terms of what their job is. Tech 49 says they need to crunch till crushed. I don't care. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't. I care as a human, of course. But as a customer, I'm like, look, what should be happening? I don't want to get into crunch. We'll go back to GTA in just a second. But as a customer, what should be happening is the people. Oh my God, I got to tell you guys something about this. This is crazy. I didn't want to say anything, but here's what. Okay, settle. Fuck you, motherfucker. Yeah, I can't help but be racist. It's true. Okay, Jezebel, I want to get to that in a minute about being a woman in GTA. If you can remind me if I miss it, but okay. So, ideally, what should be happening is that the people crunching should be willing to walk away and go fuck yourselves. I'm not doing it anymore. Right? And thus the products get worse or they take a lot longer and the company gets hit. And so the company has no choice but to change. Okay? That's what should happen. And the customer should never have anything to do with it. The customer shouldn't even care how the sausage is made. This is magic for most people. They don't want to know about the shit, right? But I don't think that's happening, and I'll tell you why. I saw this on Twitter the other day, and I was debating because I don't have enough information about this individual who just started working at Rockstar. I was debating about saying something because this could be the first step in the next Miyamoto of the beginnings of our next Miyamoto or next Kojima or whoever, and this is how he got started, and it may be a wonderful experience for this guy. But he was really, and again, a job's a job these days. I'm not shaming anybody or anything, but it was just so weird to see this guy, young guy, posted a picture of himself outside of one of the Rockstar offices, and he was really excited, and he got a job doing. Like it wasn't this, but it might as well have been. Like, I'm going to be texturing all the tires and doing all the material for the tires on all the cars. That's what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 years, being here, probably Monday through fucking Monday. And I was just looking at him going, you poor son of a bitch, you have no idea what you're getting into. Because you're going to fucking hate it. You clearly trained as an artist. You want to create, and I mean, it's nice. It's good money, I guess, if that's enough, and you know what you're getting into. But good God. So my point, though, is that it doesn't matter. Even if people quit, there's always new idiots, no offense to this guy, willing to roll right in and go, I'll fucking do it. I'll crunch. What do you expect them to do? Come on now. So Jezebel in the chat says, hey, Jaffe, finally, that's true. Nasher says, well, maybe the guy has a tire fetish. That's true. So Jezebel says, as a woman, I'm very excited to finally have a playable female protagonist. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not a woman, obviously, but I like playing women characters. I find them cooler to look at. I just think they're cool. Somebody in the chat was asking about, are they going to, be able to have sex and stuff? I know that in the cutscene, it looks like they're fucking each other. But I absolutely don't know if, because they're clearly committed, can you still go out and, bang prostitutes and stuff? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that is really the cool shit, but I don't think we're going to get that in GTA yet. Maybe down the lines. I mean, down the line, every game's going to do it, but you're not going to rewrite the story and redo all the cutscenes because you're playing the girl and she goes out and gets into a fucking, threesome with a bunch of prostitutes, sex workers, and suddenly the relationship between their modern day Bonnie and Clyde goes to shit. That's awesome. It's almost like taking a little bit of the Baldur's Gate DNA or the procedural narrative stuff that we're seeing early days on ChatGPT and infusing it with Grand Theft Auto. That would be the shit. But I don't think we're seeing that. Zandatsu says, I hope they're loyal to each other till the end. I don't know. Maybe it's cool if you can change it around. Hangry Dad says they don't want another hot coffee controversy. What was controversial back in the day, though? I don't think hot coffee would get you in too much trouble today. Have I ever heard of the 22-22-22 rule? No, I don't know what that is. What is that? The game better have the gore system from Red Dead 2 and GTA 5. It was pathetic. Yeah. I'm trying to. I didn't play Red Dead 2, so I didn't get to experience it though. I understand, Chris H. You're here late. I can't show you GTA 5. I saw your comment. I can't show you GTA 5. 6. Sorry, we were looking at 5 to compare how good the graphics were in the trailers to how they ended up when the game actually shipped. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point though. Nasher says narrative dissonance in Grand Theft Auto, saying ain't so. I know. But still it would be cool, right? You guys have seen the mod where you can go up to the characters in GTA 5 and ChatGPT is coming up with things for them to say and stuff. I mean, it would be pretty fucking cool if, they did build some of that into this, I think. Eddie T says, I'm worried the game will become more politically correct. Was there anything you saw in this trailer that made you think that? The only thing that stood out to me as I don't know what they're saying here or referencing here is there was somebody who looked like they were sort of really like wearing like a pink leotard tutu with an inner tube around them, and I don't know if they were like doing like a flamboyant kind of, I don't know what they were saying there, but short of that, I didn't really see anything in here that seemed to really say anything about anything, which is fine if that's what you want. Why is there so much disparity between inserting politics of games and movies? Well, I don't think, it depends what game you're talking about, but I think movies, linear media, it's a lot easier to be an author's medium. It's harder to do it in games, and games, you can sit there and write a script that people love, and it doesn't cost anybody but time to write that script or that novel that becomes a movie. But unless you're making a real small indie game that does have lots about politics, you're going to have a hard time expressing beyond sort of subconscious, subtle nods to certain ideas politically in medium to big budget games. It's a much bigger ship you're steering in terms of all these people you need to express those ideas. Why did I not play Red Dead 2? I heard the opening was really slow. That's all. Okay, so the 22-22-22 rule is take a 22-year-old graduate, work them 22 hours a day for 22 months. They burn out, they quit, get another one, repeat. Right? I mean, honestly, frankly, I always go on different shows about media literacy and shit, but no shit. right? I mean, it's like, you know, unless this guy who's working at Rockstar now is like, Jaffe, I know what this is. I want to get it on my resume. I'm not married, or even if I am, me and my wife or husband or whatever have said, we're down for this. We're down for 5 years of this because it'll be great for the career. You want to build a company. This is one of the great ways to do it. Blah, blah, blah. Then that's great. But yeah, I think if you go into these kind of jobs at this point and you're acting surprised that you have to crunch when you work at Rockstar, I don't think you're smart enough to work at Rockstar. That should almost be disqualifying at your interview. Derek Robertson says, I'm surprised how wild the trailer looked. It didn't look woke to me and looks batshit crazy. I don't agree with you. I liked the trailer, by the way. I thought it was quite good. But it didn't, you know, it was, you know what it was? It was very much like a montage of a movie. Like, you know, if they were to shoot Beverly Hills Cop, I don't know why they call it that, in Vice City, it's like, here's the establishing shots of Vice City. There was nothing in it that kind of made it look like, oh, they're taking a stance on this, or this is the position of this game, or whatever. Even to the point that there wasn't a lot of satirical stuff. It was very vanilla in regards to, in my opinion, in regards to sort of its brashness. But, you know, whatever, I don't care. I mean, I wasn't like, I demand brashness. I don't care. And I'm a pretty progressive fella. In fact, I was checking before the show, and the stats bear out. I'm the most progressive fella you know. And even in that, you know, I wouldn't want a game that, you know, lets you do a lot of really cruel shit to people who are in real life already put upon. But if they want to punch up, you know, and you want to, you know, take the hammer to, you know, obscene capitalism and a bunch of fucking people in power and politicians, I think that's great. And you are more than welcome if you want to go play a fucking game that's just, I want to just be a brash piece of shit. That's fine too. But I don't want to play it, but I support your right to play it. Absolutely. They did have an alligator in it. Yeah. I mean, would you want a mission from a cop's perspective in Miami, says Blackjack? Sure. Why not? I mean, you know, it's hard with GTA to do a lot of surprises, maybe, because people, I don't know, it might, you know, it would be cool at the very end that the girl is like, turns out to be undercover and she kills the guy. And not really good, but it's still, you know, I'd be okay being a cop's perspective. Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting point. Jonah says, to me, it seemed like it was trying real hard to put out the we're set in Florida now, except Florida man behavior vibe. Expect Florida man behavior vibe. I guess, but I didn't see any Florida man behavior for the most part. The alligator in the pool was kind of Floridian, but, you know, what else? Yeah, Fluffier says Florida man was literally watering wet grass in the trailer. You know, none of that made sense to me in regards to that. I didn't get that. Okay, so yeah, somebody's saying there was a lot of satire in the trailer. What am I missing? Cody Thompson, I'm with you. Cody says there was no Florida fun. Ravno says, bored of GTA talk yet? If so, thoughts on Bethesda countering Steam review? I have a lot to talk about if people want to move on. I mean, this was not really, I was supposed to do a Gavin Games tomorrow, but let me see something real quick. Cause yeah, I mean, you know, there's not terribly too many things to chat about, when it comes to, this particular thing. It's just a trailer, but you know, I want the ability to get addicted to drugs and have it baked into the gameplay, says Titus, to set up mule runs from city to city. That'd be cool. Wait, okay, so Pixel Catman says you got Florida man for sure, but I'm with Cheetah Man, not Cheetah Man, Cody Thompson saying there was no Florida fun. Right. Somebody tell me where the satire is, though. Tell me where the point of view is, and I'll look at it. Some billboards and signage was satire, says Leland. Who hurt you, attorney billboard? Was that satisfying? Was that good? There was a crocodile. Yeah, I got that, Christopher Gorley. I like that. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm not beating up on it, just because it. But I like. Here's what I'll say: when somebody in the chat mentioned that, it looked like they were kind of trying to play with the Florida shit. I was like, oh, that's exciting. But then I'm like, wait, I didn't see any of that crazy shit. I don't know. I expect Florida crazy shit being like, I don't fucking know. Guy eats his own foot, or I don't fucking, just something almost more like tabloidy, old woman with 2 meat choppers acting aggro, 3 mud-covered hillbillies, dude in the thong waters his plants, backyard wrestling folding table, woman twerking on top of a car. I just thought that's America. That doesn't sound to me like Florida specifically. To me, Florida specifically is, they're going to burn books, right? And I'm not being political. That's just what they do. They don't burn them, but they ban them. Or, they're going to stop people from exercising their freedoms unless they're, they look a certain way. That's what I assumed. Right, yeah, exactly. Nasher says the woman twerking on top of the car isn't satire. That's just Miami during spring break, right? That's exactly right. World-renowned GeoHound says, I wasn't a fan of the tone, Yol so-and-so. Just honest first impressions. I wasn't blown away by it, but I enjoyed it. Too dark and moody, World says. Characters took themselves way too seriously. It was missing the satirical charm. Just felt like reflection, not satire. This is what I'm saying, though. The country has gone so far beyond what was originally parodied. And this is not me saying anything clever. People have been saying this for a while now. But real life in America has... You got to work your ass off to satire, to be satirical about it. Satirize, that's the verb I'm looking for. Because it's already... I mean, seriously... Whether you love Donald Trump, and if you do, you're an idiot, sorry, or hate him, him being the president would have made sense in a Grand Theft Auto game until he actually became the real fucking president. That's what I would say. Did I see Tracy in the trailer? I'm sure she was the one in the American bikini. I don't know who that is. Who is Tracy? GTA 5 had progressives in the city and conservatives outside. I could see that too. Yeah. Yep. Official channel, I don't agree with that. It looks like it was meant to run on the PS5. No. I mean, I looked at this and I thought this was all cutscenes. And people were telling me, don't be so quick to say that, Jaffe, because the history of Rockstar is when they release a trailer, and I don't know if I'm agreeing or not with this, but I absolutely understand. And if they're right, I like what they're saying, which is the history of Rockstar is their trailers, they don't do bullshots and bullshit trailers. And in that, I absolutely do not think that this game looks like it could run on PS4 or PS5, frankly. So we'll see. But you want Nico Belloc to return, Cheetah Man? Huh. They're definitely going to touch on something, says Titus, like Trump. Maybe some other brash populist politician. Yeah, I would imagine I mean, how can you not discuss that? Or something like that, Okay, listen to this. This is coming from Boogster over on the Discord. He says, I'm tired of the trend that people say a sequel looks like DLC. Games are taking longer than ever to make. What people are essentially asking for is 2 more years of development to make it significantly different. And sometimes it's necessary, but most times it's not. And then Darth Nugget says, you look like DLC. But I'm sorry, but I don't agree with you. I think, it's subjective, right? Because here's what I'll say. There are people out there that to them graphics are everything. I did a video recently about indie games should not have a category. They should just be games. It's a ridiculous thing. And people were like, well, how can an indie game compete with a $200 million game? And there are people out there that to them, production value and graphics equate to one of the main reasons a game is good or not. And that's fine. So if that's what your criteria or your definition is, then I would agree with you. There's no way this game looks like DLC. But my definition is not that. My definition is I want to do cool new things in the world, and I still want to do a lot of the same stuff I've done. And in that, this game may very well be that, but there's nothing in the trailer to Bookster that, shows that. It just looks like more of the same, which is fine, but that's DLC. It's not an insult. It's just kind of a way to quantify it, or to specify it, I should say. Okay. The game is probably a giant and dense with stuff and people will still be finding for years. That's the work being done, not in the graphics engine. Yeah, totally true. It can be exactly the same, but there's so much of that knob is turned up to a point that there's so much to do that we haven't experienced that before. And that in and of itself is fresh. And no, I'm not starting with the DLC thing again. Somebody asked me, all sequels are not DLC. I don't agree with you, Get a God. Pixelated Catman. Again, guys, we're not taking a test. Catman says new map and new stories is enough to qualify as a sequel. This is like the term indie, right? There's no right or wrong answer. It's a word. It's a piece of vocabulary. If you want to call a game that is a follow-up to another game a sequel because it does these things, and I want to call it, I know it's not officially DLC, but I'm saying it feels like DLC, you're not wrong and I'm not wrong. It's give me the definition of sequel and I'll tell you if it merits. But you guys think it's an insult, and I'm just kind of using it to maybe dive a little deeper on explaining some of the ways to discuss the design behind them. Elden Ring 2 won't be DLC. It might, Tox Mod. I don't know anything about it yet. I heard the other day that Miyazaki was saying that it's going well, but you're going to have to wait a little while for it. So, I don't know. But if you want to tie someone down and say that's the sequel definition, then great. Then we can have that discussion. But it's a subjective concept. But that said, though, it looks like the game we've played numerous times before, and that's fine. It looks really good. It looks fun. Anyway, all right. Yeah, Titus Crow, I agree. It's a giant team working on many years on a game. We have to want to see what this is or why are we gamers. Right. I'm excited to see it. I saw a theory about cryptocurrency being in the game, says Happy Dodger. Do you think that will still be a thing? Maybe satirically, but unless they turn a corner somewhere, in terms of making that something the public loves and is accepted, then no, not literally like Ubisoft was doing, like selling NFT. But I could see characters being obsessed with crypto. Yeah. Hangry Dad says, here's the definition of a sequel: a published, broadcast, or recorded work that continues the story or develops the theme of an earlier one. Okay, so if that's the sequel you're working off of, because that's all of those are referring. If you look at the verbs published, broadcast, recorded, are talking about television, books, plays, and movies. But if you want to use that as your definition for video game sequels, then yes, absolutely. God of War Ragnarok would be a sequel, but it is a sequel, but it's also DLC in the way that I use the term. That's all I'm saying. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I'm just saying, look, here's where you want to debate me. If you want to debate me, explain to me what you saw in that trailer outside of visuals in terms of gameplay. And I know there wasn't gameplay, but there were some things that I could imagine. Right? I really liked how there was a lot of social media stuff. And I don't know if there's playability there. Like, people, clearly you're watching TikTok or Reels or Stories or whatever the fuck they are, depending on what platform. That was cool that they're clearly going to be touching on social media, and I hope that there's some gameplay there. Whether you can play missions in that view, or part of it is like you're, streaming for your friend who's doing this crazy bullshit thing, and you've got to do a number of things to help them. I think that would be cool. There was the closed circuit camera break-in that jumped between closed circuit kind of stationary camera and POV, like the body cams that we're seeing, like I said earlier, on Unreal 5 games. That would be cool, but I need to see something before I judge whether there's games or, whether the game is that interesting. Look at, this is PM45. He says, look at the San Andreas trailer. They show about 10 brand new features from Vice City. There's none of that in 6, 0. At the moment, but it is early, at least according to Rockstar. And to be fair, features take a lot longer to put in a game these days. So I'm not expecting necessarily a game at this budget to have, and it pulls out and it becomes a real-time strategy game. I'm not, but I would like to see maybe the environment and the narrative being able to be twisted and turned a little bit, not to the Baldur's Gate level. That would be cool, but your actions actually affecting the story and the world, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing just some more language when it comes to how to solve missions. Not that I have a problem with killing people or driving over people, but give me a couple of more video game verbs of things I can do that I haven't done in GTA. I don't want to solve puzzles, but something that just gives me a little bit more, a freshness to the gameplay. But it could be all that. It could be all that. Did you see Dustin from Last Stand Media recent tweet? Apparently people's PSNs are getting banned for no reason. Well, there's certainly a reason. It's probably a bug if there really is no reason. Have they said anything like why it's happening? Brian Burley II. God, what a family. He says it's a dumb argument but sequels build off of original, while the term DLC implies it could have been done in the same engine. Yeah, I know. Okay, but I'm not. Yeah, okay. I'm going to move on. You know my take on it. You know what I'm trying to communicate, whether you agree with my terminology or not. Ganesh says, I'm curious about the mobile stuff in game, like mobile phones and all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Chris says GTA 5 introduced heist, stock market, and businesses. I wouldn't be surprised if they have an influencer mechanic feature in GTA 6. I could see that. That could be cool. Did you see... it's definitely related. I don't follow this guy. He's a streamer, but I guess there were people breaking into his house and held him and his co-host up in this stretch limo they were riding in. It was pretty, I was like, is that staged or what? But it was pretty convincing if it wasn't staged. Megan says, Jaffe, how do you think they'll improve the death and arrested mechanic? Will the characters spend time in a hospital and have to recover to get arrested? And get a lawyer. All that sounds cool at a conceptual level, but I imagine it'll fuck the pacing because it can happen so often. But sure, I think having, that's a great point though. I don't know what it would be, and I certainly wouldn't want it to be, what is the Phoenix Wright? I'd love for them to bring in kind of the court stuff a little bit, or kind of like, what is the show, the Criminal Law or LA, the goddamn thing that they start with the cops and they go to the attorneys. I think there's so much about politics and the legal system that I think it would be cool to have something like that referenced and actually playable in some way in the game. I would spend some time, if I was a designer, I would go, I want to spend some time seeing if we can make going to court fun. If we can make trying to get off and not get arrested, not all the time, but like moments in the story, I think could be really cool. Really, yeah, the People's Court, right? Hun53 says, it seemed to me the game could be playing out in the 80s and 90s with the older police cars if we just look away from the fact that everything was on social media. Yeah, I did. Judge Judy, yeah. I did look at that, and I was wondering that. But the minute I started seeing the social media and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is not set anytime other than now. So Boxing says, please don't bring no BS court stuff in a GTA game. You are not a hardcore GTA player. What's great about GTA is everybody gets to play that stuff. And am I a hardcore GTA player? I don't even know what that means, like online or whatever, but I like it. I like to play it. I like the idea of sort of going into a simulation of sort of living this kind of life of adventurous crime. And I could see, the legal process and system coming with that if they could make it interesting. And I think they probably could. Not for a mechanic you use all the time. People had phones in the beach shot doing Instagram pictures. It was modern. Yeah, absolutely. Titus says if they are going to enter the real poverty immigrant story, they have to have the young couple discussing doing camming OnlyFans. Right. I would love, it would be great if one of them did OnlyFans, and what is that gameplay like? I like those slice of life, but still a life I don't live. I like that being embedded into the game. If they can do it in a way that feels, hell, even what was the first GTA to bring the gym in? And you go to the gym and you work out and there's little mini games in there. I don't remember what it was. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so listen to this. Struggle Boxing says, hardcore means you've been playing since Xbox 360, PS3, if you're old enough, and have hundreds of millions legit. Bitch, I was playing Lemmings, which came before GTA 1, which I played, which came before GTA 2, which I played. I played the N64 version of Body Harvest, which was basically, and Silicon Valley, from the developers of those games, which was basically the first time you could ever get out of vehicles and get in other vehicles, that ultimately led to the goddamn cockadoodie Grand Theft Auto 3. So I assure you, if your definition of hardcore means you've been playing since 360, I'm so fucking hardcore, I'm a fucking Flintstone. San Andreas had the gym. Yeah. So I'm saying that, if somebody said, hey, we're simulating going to the gym, I know you're saying you meant hardcore GTA player, but those games I mentioned are made from the people who made GTA, whether it's literally GTA 1 and 2, which was not on the PS3 and 360, or games like Body Harvest, which were precursors to it. Yeah, Awesome says, I've been playing since Atari 2600. What does that make me? You and me. Same thing. You see, tomorrow they're going to reveal Digital Eclipse is putting out, they're adding 15 brand new games. I don't know if they're new games. They're new to the collection, whether they're emulated or they're new games that fit in that style, because they've done both for the Atari 50th anniversary. That's coming out tomorrow as well. Okay. I like that your struggle says, you are not a hardcore GTA player, point blank, period. I rest my case. You would be terrible at the law. No wonder you don't want legal shit in the goddamn GTA 6. Because you basically said something, I totally demolished your argument, and instead of coming back, you're like, no, point blank, period, I rest my case. I get now why you don't want legal shit in there. They would throw your ass out of court in the first 5 minutes. What do you think of the graphical evolution from 3 to 6, says Wookie? I mean, it's the same with everything. I mean, it is it really is kind of insane. Because time, and that's not video game graphics, but technology. I mean, it's my only real regret, besides missing people that I adore, that worries me about dying, is missing out on all the new cool tech, right? But what's funny is that new cool tech, it's such a gradual seeping into our lives that we don't even realize it. Whereas if you fell asleep and woke up in 20 years, your mind would be fucking blown, right? The reason I say this when you're talking about the graphical evolution, I did a short for Instagram ages ago where I was like looking at Night Driver in the arcade, which literally was, it was the first POV or over-the-shoulder driving game I remember. It probably was the first. And, you know, the car was a sticker, if I remember, on the screen, and all the game was like a road that was like a sine wave curving, and if you touched the edge, you crashed, right? And you go from that, which wasn't that long ago, 44 years ago, and you go up to like, you know, Forza Horizon, right? I mean, so if you look at GTA 3 and you look now at GTA, what this looks like, assuming this is indicative of gameplay, quality of graphics and the gameplay, yeah, it's amazing. It's fucking amazing. You'll be 60 in 20 years. Cool. Yeah, I'll be 70 in 20 years. But so what? I mean, it's amazing, but you don't recognize it while it's happening. And because here's what I said to this person. I was having a conversation with this person the other day about this, and we were doing it over FaceTime. And I said to her, this is the craziest thing. We're complaining, and when we were younger, the idea of picking up a phone and seeing the person was science fiction. Interesting. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, fellas. Unless anybody's got something pressing they want to talk about, I'm going to push everything else because I want to do a proper Gabbing Games tomorrow. There's a lot of news to talk about, a lot of good stuff to talk about. 2:30 tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'll stay online for a few more minutes and see if you guys want to chat about something different. Struggle Boxing says, I bet you don't even have 50 hours on GTA 5.
Go suck a big fucking dick.
That would be my answer to you. I mean, my God, man. What? What's wrong with you? That I don't have... Do you know how much I've done in my life, you moron? Do you know how much I've given with my teams that I've worked with? How much joy I've given to people with the work we've done? Do you know, I've birthed and raised kids. I've run companies, co-run companies, employed people, laid my bricks down to influence the industry such as I have. What have you done? You struggle with boxing. You can't even box. Fucking idiot. I know I'm getting trolled. I don't care. Do you even own a mansion and a Bugatti in GTA Online? What the fuck, Jaffe? Do you even play games? I know. Mute Moses, put pudding on your face. Yeah, I have no problem. You would be stunned to learn Struggle Boxing. He says, well, that still don't make you a hardcore GTA player. You would be stunned to learn how little I give a fuck about being perceived as a hardcore video game player of any game. What? A good topic would be Sony reworking movies. Well, we talked about that already briefly. There really isn't much to say. We talked about it on this very stream. It's horrible. I mean, I don't think you can find anyone who can defend it. I can defend it legally, of course, in terms of service. But I think I would love for this to blow up in Sony's face to the point that, like I said earlier, it creates a need or a situation where a judge gets a hand on it and it really starts some kind of movement to fucking fix this terms of service bullshit. Because it's ridiculous. I mean, no one reads them. They're way too fucking long. And I'm sorry, but you bought something from Sony, like I said earlier. You bought it. I get they may have fucking lost the license to it. You know what? Give them their fucking money back then. Well, that's not in the terms of service. I don't care. Do the right thing, you fucking greedy fuck. Thank you, Bleaky Go Boom. I appreciate that, buddy. All right. Jaffe, that's my only point. Don't act like you are. I don't act like Oh my God, shut up. Where have I... Oh, shut up. I hope general realism is improved in GTA 6, says Man. If you commit crime, it's harder to get away with it. Police do investigations. It's tough. That's a tough one. Because, you know, people like breaking the law and getting away with it. And if you actually make it a real fucking... If it's the Dark Souls of crime simulators, I think you're going to have a lot of people who kind of walk away from it. That's a good point. Jezbelly says Stadia refunded all their customers when they shut down, right? Nasher says, I had a lawyer tell me that online terms of service aren't enforceable because in order for a contract to be valid, it has to be assumed the party read it. Well, then in that case, they can go fuck themselves, and I hope there's a class action suit against Sony on this that makes them change their fucking awful ways. It's unacceptable. Not that I want to watch any of the shit that they're pulling. It's like crap from the guy who runs HBO now, the Discovery Channel. Oh, I want to watch Cake Boss and, you know, the wedding dress show. Fuck you. But that said, though, it's the principle. It's the principle. Brett Williams dropped super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, my favorite thing I've heard about it. If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't theft. That's a good point. Well, no, I mean, it kind of works. It falls apart when you're like, if you borrowed something without asking, like I borrowed your car, but I had the intention of bringing it back. I just haven't done it yet. And it's been 3 years. You know, I think we would all agree that that's theft. But I get your point, though. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. Okay. What if you go to prison and you have to escape? I think, Cab, that would be great for a mission in the narrative. I don't think every time you get arrested, unless you want, and you know, unless you want to do something like, if they come to you and say, okay, you've been arrested, you can get out immediately, but you'll lose, 50% of your money. Or you can play this kind of like almost like what they're doing in Call of Duty, the Gulag, where it's like, or you can play this, it's not a mini game, but you can play this kind of, it only takes 3 to 5 minutes. And if you can escape the prison, you'll escape with 3 stars or 2 stars, but you get to keep all your money, plus you get like a 20% bump for the next hour of money that you make or something. I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would be really cool. At least Sony will be finally giving a Stellar Blade. Well, yeah. But I mean, that's nothing's changed, has it? I mean, isn't that the plan? Struggle boxing, I'm not mad at all. But I will say this to you.
Everybody hates you, and I'm glad your husband died.
It's true.
He probably killed himself.
Yeah. My friend got put in prison. I'm only laughing because I'm like, what? Titus says, my friend got put in prison 2 years because when he was 18, he borrowed 38 cars in a year. He was going to give them all back. That is rough justice. That's right. Maskista says the way Starfield did it was cool in terms of getting arrested. You get arrested, you don't earn XP for a while. You lose all your stolen items. If you pay the bounty, you only lose your stolen items. Right. I mean, that could be cool. That could be cool. Okay. Until they let us download the movies and TV shows that we purchase and can watch them whatever device we want, shit like this will keep happening. Well, this is like I said, this is very different. This is like, look, like I said, I mean, it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And frankly, what Sony should do, if they care, and I think they should, because if this continues to happen and happens more and more, I think it's going to ultimately end up hurting companies like in a real big way. Kind of like the Cyberpunk launch, where they really value because of it. It's going to happen enough that someone's going to do something and they're going to have to go, holy shit, we've got to walk this back. If you're Sony, here's what you do. Because I assure you, the number of people who bought Discovery, think about it. You didn't even decide to rent Cake Boss or whatever. What's the one about the wedding, Bridezilla or whatever? It wasn't enough to rent it. on your PlayStation, you had to choose to buy it. There ain't many of those people. But regardless, even if there's one or a million, they should pay them their money back. And they should also make it very clear that this could happen again whenever you're buying this shit. So, like, I just bought my brother today season 1 of the TV show Devs, which is amazing, and this wonderful movie called The Artifice Girl. I purchased them. I didn't rent them. I gifted them to him. What Sony should do is they should be like, hey, you're gifting this. That's great. Just so you know, there's a small percentage chance that one day we may have to take this back. Do you want to rent it, or are you sure you want to buy it? They need to do that. Because what they're doing now is it's utterly horseshit. Utterly horseshit. Do you own a lot of digital content? Says Mutant Mode. Not much at all. The only stuff I own like 20 movies on Apple TV. I mean, I own all my shit on PlayStation because you can't, in Steam. But Apple TV, I own about 20 movies, but that was because when I really wanted to watch them, it was like $24 to buy it and $19 to rent it because it had just come out. And in that, I was just like, fuck it. Let me just fucking buy it. Hang on one sec, fellas. All right. Okay. Why would you buy digital TV shows and movies? Are you insane? Says Rain. Because I can't find the show I wanted to give him, which was Devs, on Blu-ray. It's not on Amazon, and some people say they've made it, but I can't find it. And then the movie, which I could get on Blu-ray, his birthday is today, and I wanted to get him something he could have today because I got him this. He really likes this. He really likes this show on Netflix called Heartstopper, and I got him this. I don't know if you can see it. I guess these are the main characters. I've not watched it, but I haven't had a chance to mail it. So I wanted to get him something that he could, have today, just because it's, on your birthday. It's nice to get something. That's what I think. GTA6 is on a different level. They doing good, says DevNote. They doing white job. What they doing? Because your games did not even do that. Look at my games did not do white job. Look at GTA 5. The game came out in the 360. And you spelled Jen like he says look at this Jen. He spelled Jen like Jennifer Gardner. Anyway, look, you've never heard of the show Devs? Somebody on the Discord recommended it to me, and boy, that's a great fucking show. It is. Ace, shut the fuck up. It is a great fucking show. Really clever and interesting and twisty and turny and insanely cool. All right, fellas, there you go. That has been our special Gabbing and Games for today. I will be back tomorrow at 2:30 with a real proper show. But thanks for hanging out and sharing your thoughts on the trailer. If you know what a white, why did my game just jump? If you know what a white job is, let me know. Maybe I'd be good at it. I've never heard that term. So, but oh God. Okay. Be well, be safe. Thank you, members. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you, new members. And thank you, of course, RPG and all of our mods who keep this thing running. Appreciate it, fellas. I'll talk to you guys soon. And then don't forget, Game Awards. Me and Gene Park are going to be watching it, streaming it together on this very channel. I'm looking for one more person. I need a name. I reached out to Colin. Colin's not available that night. So I need somebody who's don't say me. I mean like a name. A name. Sorry, I need a name. You know. Anyway. All right. I'll see you guys. Bye, everyone. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm still not totally. I can't help but be racist. See you, fellas. It's true.